What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast for another week of the Star Wars Exchange, episode 16. Keen to get into it, but before we do, Mike, my co-host, how are you this week?
Hey, I'm doing okay. I'm excited to get started, and we have a different episode for everyone today, and it's kind of dedicated to you guys. So I'm keen to get started.
100%. As he alluded to, yeah, we have got a different episode this week. Not much going on. Thought it would be nice to engage with the audience a little bit. So we threw out on the socials a Q&A call. We got lots of questions to answer. We're keen to get into it, so be sure to stick around for it. But yeah, guess we should just get stuck into it. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go. All right. So, first of all, our good friend Fernando asks, okay, two things. What do you guys think the Bad Batch will, when do you guys think the Bad Batch will be released? And second, what do you want to happen in the second season? Mike, your answer.
Well, yeah, as we talked about in the last podcast episode, Bad Batch was supposed to or was slated to come out in spring apparently, but now it's just been taken off the roster. So we don't know what's going on. The investor day call with Bob Chapek, Bad Batch got no mention, no love for Bad Batch. So now we're just curious as to when it'll come out. Last week, as I said, we also talked about Cassian and when that's coming out, and that's like September, around there, September. So that leaves us with Bad Batch. When is it going to come out? Well, I'm kind of more leaning towards they might release it maybe before Andor, but you think that they would have like at least released a trailer, right? Because remember, for the first season of Bad Batch for the series premiere, they like released a trailer like many months before it debuted in on May 4th. So it's like now we're getting closer. We're almost to May 4th, and we're gearing up to watch Kenobi, the Obi-Wan series. But we have just nothing about the Bad Batch. We know a season 2 is like on the way, but yeah, I don't see it releasing in summer. Maybe they do. Maybe because I know after Obi-Wan debuts, they're doing like some. Is it Miss Marvel, the Miss Marvel series?
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll get Bad Batch in between. But with 22 episodes, I know Disney Plus loves stretching out their series. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that we might not even see it until like maybe the end of the year. But then we're also expecting a Mandalorian season 3 expecting it to debut in the like late fall or maybe in the winter, same time as Boba Fett. So who knows? Maybe they've just pushed it off to next year, which okay. But as we talked about last week, not a good move. This is a show that's more geared towards kids, and it's like they're gonna grow out of Bad Batch by the time that hits. Like, remember that old show when we used to watch as kids? It's moved on from the conversation. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Ari, do you think we're gonna see Bad Batch anytime soon?
I mean, I don't honestly, I don't know anything. People sometimes think I know stuff because I post about news, but I know just as much as everyone else.
He's
I
got
have
all
no
the inside
idea.
sources.
All I can say is I hope it comes out this year. I really hope it comes out this year. If it comes out in 2023, that would be pretty disappointing. I'll just take any 2022 release date as a win, to be honest. But yeah, and in terms of what do we think will happen in the season, man, I honestly couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. But once again, I'll go with what I'm hoping for. And what I'm hoping for is to really expand on what was set up in that final scene on what's that planet that they're on? I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah, I can remember.
It's the one from the OG Thrawn trilogy, and they were there in the episode where they found Gregor. I want to see that stuff expanded. Looks like we're going to continue sort of seeing the creation of stormtroopers, which I think is pretty cool. I want to see the Crosshair story continue. I just want these characters to continue to flourish. I want it to not be so reliant on cameos. I'm not one of those people who thought the first season was necessarily like that. I just think that's a criticism of Star Wars in general. I want this to be, it's called The Bad Batch. Let's make it about The Bad Batch. So, yeah. And if I could just contradict myself for a second, though, I would love to see a lot more Rex in the series. I know people want Ahsoka to be in the show, but I don't know. But I want to see Rex become a decent part of the story. But yeah, man, give us more Hunter, give us more Omega, Wrecker. I mean, oh man, and what was everyone saying last season about Echo and Tech? Do those characters even exist? Like, please
Right.
do something with
Yeah.
those characters. That's what I want. But Mike, what do you want to see?
As I think, as you said, I want to see expansion on that final scene. I want to see more of the Kaminoans and what they're up to. I want to see what Nala Say, is that her name? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Is it Nala Say? Yeah, I want to see what Nala Say is up to. I want to maybe, even though I don't really know what this show was supposed to do in season one. It felt like at first it felt small scale, and then it just went on a larger scale, and then just kept going back and forth, and it just lost me for a second. But
Yeah.
overall, I still had fun with season one. As you said,
Yeah.
no more reliance on cameos, because I it was just like every episode it was like, well, we're gonna get a cameo. Who are we gonna talk about this week? Rather than the Bad Batch. And you have interesting characteristics and prominent characters in there that you could just focus on, and get
Yeah.
a better characterization of like Wrecker and stuff. But we don't. And I feel like we have shows like Rebels that have done a perfect job. I think this show was trying to be a mix of Rebels and Clone Wars, and it just you cannot
It
do
didn't
that.
work out. Yeah.
You have to stick to one formula.
That's a
And
good point
yeah, I
though, because
appreciate.
it's like the Clone Wars era, the Clone Wars style, but then it's like that it's there, but then it's the storytelling style of like a Rebels type show. So that's a great point.
Right, right. So yeah, I didn't, I felt like they were trying to be like Clone Wars in the grand scale things too, and then like Rebels start off on the small scale. But I really don't know what they did, and I would prefer less episodes, just in terms that we're
Really?
not getting. Yeah, I would appreciate less episodes. I like
Mm.
those downtimes though. Not, I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily call them
I will
filler,
say
but I just like those downtime.
yeah, I kind of disagree just because I think 16 episodes is a really good amount. I think 22
Damn,
is a bit too much. I think like 12 is too little. But I will
really?
say I forget the name of the episode. I think it was around episode 14. We watched it together. Yeah, I don't think we need any more episodes like that. So if cutting a few episodes off means we kind of don't get those sorts of episodes, then I'd be fine with it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's go back to Rebel season 1 type style. Like, it was 13
yeah.
episodes, you got in, told the story, and got out. Like, it
I feel like
was
they
you
could
also
have.
had
Yeah, I don't know. I
you
feel like
had
they
some
could have used one
downtime
or two
though.
more episodes there.
And look how they used Lando. I mean, that was cool how
Yeah,
Rebels used Lando. They brought him in. He was significant to the story, but he didn't overshadow any of the
yeah,
characters. That was great.
exactly.
But and season or Bad Batch, no one cared
Perfect.
about
Yes.
what Omega and Wrecker were doing. It was just like, oh, let's do what Rex is doing. Let's be with him.
Yeah.
Let's be with Cad Bane. Yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
yeah. Season two though, still excited, and I want to see what's going
Definitely.
on with the Kaminoans, all that. Maybe get Palpatine involved. Don't know.
Mm,
Don't
for
know.
sure.
But yeah, that'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
Next question, I reckon.
yeah, I think so. And this second question comes from our friend Shane, and he asks, still on Bad Batch, will any members of the Bad Batch die in season 7? Ari,
In season
season
7.
2, season 2, season
I mean,
2. Sorry,
season 7, I would say there's potential. There's potential for
there's
someone to. No.
potential to thin out the line. Sorry, season 2. Okay, Ari, you have
Um.
your display case of characters. Which one's gonna bite the dust?
Oh, I mean, I really don't want any of them to die, if I'm honest. But I think it would be nice to see a casualty in a Star Wars animated show because I think when Kanan died in Rebels, whilst it was sad and whatever, it was done really well and it really like enriched the storytelling. So, I think if they it will any, I would say I'm gonna make it silent. I don't know if this is a bold prediction, but I'm gonna say no one will. I don't know if that's bold, but I'm gonna say they're not gonna kill any characters in season 2. I would be really disappointed if they kill Crosshair because I really don't like the trope of someone being redeemed and then dying straight away. They did it with Ben Solo. I mean, they did it with Vader. I mean, that's kind of a different case, but even still, I just don't like that trope. So if it's Crosshair, I'll be quite frustrated. But then at the same time, if it's Tech or Echo, I'm gonna be thinking, what a waste of those characters. So much potential, and then they did nothing with them. But then if it's Omega, Hunter, or Wrecker, I'll just be devastated. Like that that these great characters have you know getting removed from
Yeah.
the show. So, and also I don't think any will. I just that's what my gut tells me. Honestly, I remember when Rebels was coming out, everyone was like, "Oh, we're just waiting for Ezra and Ezra and Kanan to die, and then it didn't happen until like the very end of the series with Kanan. Then
Right.
Ezra didn't even die. And I remember, I don't know, maybe this was just me, but I feel like after every single trailer, people like, oh, Zeb's gonna die. Like that just
Yeah.
was like the scapegoat of like, anyway, and it just never happened. And I can't see why it would be any different for this. I know the story's a bit more mature, but yeah, I would say if one character is going to die, I think it would be Wrecker. That's all. What do you think though?
Ooh, that's actually really cool. I like that setup because season one did have a lot of stories having to do with Wrecker and Omega being like kind of the center
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
See,
Well, he's sorry. I just want to elaborate on it for 1 second. He's like, I feel like he's the heart of the series in
yeah,
terms of like, obviously Omega and Hunter are like those main characters, but he's like not of the series, of the group. I mean, he's like the heart of the group, and it would be
okay.
interesting to see what would happen if he got removed. I feel like
Yeah, it would feel really dry and bland without him, to be honest. Because I did appreciate
that's
some of his
true. That's why I
moments.
don't think they would
I,
kill him. Yeah.
I thought they would do more with Echo, just because Clone Wars veteran, blah
Mm,
blah blah. Like he
definitely.
was the guy we followed along when we watched Clone Wars. So it's like, hey, we have someone interesting in here, but he just blends in with the background. And I would rather much see Tech still be in the group rather than Echo, just because Tech is like he's like the funny, like he'll come up with like some witty comment and like not realize that he's being rude also. Like he'll just
Mm,
I love all his remarks in the series. I think he had a lot of cool moments. But
yeah.
Echo, I'm just like, what is his best moment in the show was when the sisters came along from Clone Wars, the Martez sisters, and
Yeah.
they go, "Is there an Echo in here?" And he goes, "I'm right here.
Uh,
It's me," or whatever. I
I think
thought
that's
that
the
was his
only
best
time
moment.
he spoke in the whole season.
Yeah,
No, I'm
pretty
joking,
much. I
but it
don't
felt
know.
like it.
It felt like it, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
yeah, I would rather there's too many, and the show's trying to like focus on I don't know what, it seemed like they were trying to do the Rebels approach. But I love that Rebels, like, yes, you didn't get into the deep layers of Sabine yet or Zeb.
Mm,
And you had them there and play pivotal roles, but in season 2 you started exploring the backgrounds and stuff and like
yeah.
how they came to be with the Rebels. And we don't need to see their backstories, but we also just don't need just make them pivotal to the story. So
Yeah.
season 2, I think I don't think it's actually like a bold thing to say that they'll all survive, because it's like, yeah, it is a darker show. Like season
Yeah.
or the first couple episodes, like, holy crap, this is actually pretty dark.
Yeah. I just feel like
Remember,
people always think characters are gonna die. Like, it's like,
right,
who's gonna die? And
right,
everyone always thinks someone, but I'm just out here saying no. I just
yeah.
don't think anyone
Yeah,
will.
I don't. I'm gonna
It
be
never
with you.
happens.
I want them. I want, like, I'm telling you, I want
Please,
Echo
kill a character. No, I'm joking.
kill Echo. No, but for me, I don't think. I think they're
God,
just
that
gonna all
sounds so
survive.
bad.
We we oh, I mean, Rebels proved us wrong. Like, as you said, every season was like, oh, this person's gonna die, this person, and as you
Yeah.
said, they saved Kanan towards the end. So
Yeah.
I really don't think anyone's gonna bite the dust in season 2.
There we go. Didn't expect us to be on the same page with that one, but here we are. Also, I just realized Rekka is sitting right above me right here.
Yeah,
Shout
he's
out to
watching
Mike for
you.
the nice making this graphic.
Hey,
Um, Next question though comes from Normandy, and by the way, shout out to them because they are always engaging with our content, so we appreciate them a lot. Shout out. But they ask, "Hey guys, right back at you. Is there any specific Legends content you want to see adapted into the canon?" Now, I know neither of us are really big Legends guys, but Mike, what do you think?
dude, bring on Darth Bane. Haven't
Mm,
read his trilogy yet, but everything that I hear about him, or even some crumbs that we've gotten in Clone Wars of the character, he seems the most interesting to me from the Legends universe, and the
mm,
one that Darth Bane has been canonized in Clone Wars. So the Rule of Two thing, give us. I would love to see that. I would love to see the trilogy, the Darth Bane trilogy, being like reworked or whatever you got to do. I mean, yeah, it would be cool to like explore his time and like what he went through and why he matters and how he affected the entire like Sith religion, if you will. So yeah,
yeah,
I would probably me I probably years ago I would have been like, oh, give us Thrawn, but I'm obviously Thrawn's canon now.
mm,
He's bigger than ever, but I would definitely lean towards the side of Darth Bane and stuff.
mm, interesting.
Ari, as you said, we're not much of a legend fans, but do you see
Yeah.
anything that you have read, liked, getting canonized anytime soon?
I would say there's three things. Let me just list them out. Darth Plagueis would love to see. I think that's a story that is inevitably going to be told in
Mm,
canon sometime soon. The Old Republic. I mean, I was never big on it, but I think that's just in itself the setup. The would be a great story to tell. Just like 1,000 years back from the prequels. What is the Old Republic truly like? And reading all the High Republic stuff, which I love. I think let's go even further back and see what that's like.
yeah.
And then the last thing, I think I can't remember the exact name of the series, but it was a comic series called Star Wars Jedi, I think, and it focused on all the different Jedi. And the
Hmm.
one specific one that I really loved was the Quinlan Vos story.
Yes.
So I would just love to see not even that specific story, but just Quinlan Vos Legends material in general, not just be brought
Right.
into canon, but be adapted into canon.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be
so
cool. And
yeah,
I love that tidbit you said about uh what was the second thing you said? The first thing?
yeah,
Second thing?
oh, Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis. There we go.
Yeah,
So I had a thought on that. I wish it missed opportunity, right? They kept for Rise of Skywalker. I was like Palpatine. You never saw a picture of Palpatine for them in the
yeah,
marketing or whatever, an image, but you kept hearing his voice and stuff. And you were trying to get all those fans back in, invested, or even prequel fans like, hey, Palpatine's back, whatever. Like Ian McDermott's back. It would have been so cool to tell that Plagueis story sometime up going to Rise
yeah,
of
yeah,
Skywalker. Like, just have like a novel just centered around Plagueis
yeah.
and what's and Palpatine. That would have been great.
Coincidentally, I have it sitting right here because I just purchased it yesterday. But on the top of this Phasma book, it says Journey to Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and they had these for all the sequels. You're right on the money. I wish they had one of these for Plagueis that said Journey to the Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
Because yeah, perfect timing for that story.
Would have
Definitely,
been cool.
yeah,
Would have been cool.
for sure.
So now that takes us into Jim, and Jim asks, animated or live action Star Wars shows? Ari, I think I know your answer, but you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, animated shows are winning right now, I would say. I think that will change. I think it will
Yeah.
eventually. Just because of purely the amount of live action shows that are going to come out, there's going to be enough there eventually to be like, all right, they have, they've won, they've won the battle. But I mean, right
Right.
now there's 7 seasons of Clone Wars, 4 seasons of Rebels, a season of the Bad Batch. I mean, Resistance, but yeah, that's not doing much. No offense to that show, but um, I think right now it's there's not even a doubt in my mind. Like, what have we had in live action? We've had a series of Book of Boba Fett and 2 Mandalorian series, right? That's all we've had.
Yeah.
And
When he
I
says
mean,
series, he means seasons, yo. It's okay.
seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been, I don't know, like Book of Boba Fett. Feel how you do about that show. It was okay. Mando, yes, it's great. We love Mandalorian, but Clone Wars and Rebels is where it's at for me at the minute. But yeah, what about you? What do you think?
I feel like it sucks because I feel some type of way coming. There's just it's just a different experience with the live action shows. I feel like you
Mm,
get more week to week. But overall, I'm a Star Wars animation fan at heart. That's what got me invested into the fandom with Clone Wars, and I was like, that's what really nailed me in. That's what really hooked me in. So Clone Wars and Rebels, man, just as we've said on this podcast so many times, Rebels is just on another level, spiritual, emotional level. It's
without a
something
doubt.
else. It's in another realm. As Ari would say, it's in another playing field. So it's just Rebels. I feel like all the animation shows, I could go to any episode, more specifically Rebels, but like, or even heck, even Resistance. You could just go to any episode and just play it for the heck of it, or But with
Mm,
the Mandalorian Boba shows, I feel like you got to like
yeah,
really sit down and watch and stuff. You can just really play it in the background, just for me personally.
yeah.
But like,
No, I'm with you. And it's
you're
hard to
with
just
me.
put one random episode on. I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Because then you get like some, yeah, just of the library we have now with the live action shows. It's
yeah,
a minimal library, but
yeah,
we're growing slowly. But I definitely say like during Bad Batch times, I was like, oh, it's another week. Like, can't wait to Bad Batch. And then Book of Boba Fett, no matter how it's going, it's like there's a new Boba Fett episode. Let's go. Or even Mandalorian. So yeah, I'm it's kind of tricky because I at the end of the day I do lean towards more of the sides of the the animation TV shows, but heck, if you put like Obi-Wan on the roster and stuff like that, it's like,
Yeah, I was
ooh,
gonna say Obi-Wan's gonna
that's the
change the game. Like,
everyone's going to
yeah,
change their name, depending how the series goes, but the hype train is just going to be on another level. And I feel like we do week to week, like I said, we do get more out of the live action shows. Like we could go on End's discussion, but sometimes with the animation ones, especially, to an episode Ari was alluding to a bit ago, I feel like that's a 10-minute discussion. So
yeah,
if even that, so it just depends. But like I said, at the end of the day, at the bottom of my heart, it's always
yeah.
Star Wars animation.
Yeah, I would say the one thing the live action shows have over the animated right now is when those episodes are coming out of Mando or Book of Boba, it's like an event, like, and that is just
Yes,
so exciting being a part of that.
exactly.
But I'd say the the biggest reason I love Star Wars is for the storytelling and the characters, and I feel like
Right.
right now the better storytelling and the better characters are in the animated shows.
Definitely.
But yeah,
Definitely.
anyway, on to the next question, which is from underscore handcrafted underscore, who asks, what do you guys hope to see in the Andor series? Mike, what are you hoping to see?
I want to see exactly what they pitched us, a political thriller, right? I want to see something that's more I don't need to see all this action every episode, but as long as they have an interesting dialogue going about in the episode, I'm all keen for that. I'm excited to get into like the darker side of the Rebel Alliance. When we meet Cassian in Rogue One, he's just a different character. You could definitely tell he's just more of a different character that we've met from the Rebel Alliance. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
very, very interesting. And I love that thread in Rogue One where it was him and that, I forgot what his name is, but that one jerk face lieutenant that was ordering for Jyn Erso's father to be killed on site rather than like brought in
Yeah.
and stuff for
Yep.
interrogation on site. So I want to see how Cassian has led up to that moment, and we're also going to be, I think we're going to be seeing, they've said we're going to be seeing Yavin 4 in Andor. So I'm excited for that. I want to see more of I want to see some connections to Rebels because Cassian Andor, according to Star Wars canon, he was a Fulcrum agent. So it's like, and he grew up as a family, as a separatist family in the Clone Wars. So I want to see how like that, affects his, maybe the way he's perceived, because as we know, the more prominent figures in the Rebel Alliance, we got Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, they were all on the side of the Republic. So it's like I would want to see that. Give us Mon Mothma, Bail Organa being like, what the heck just happened? We were on the side of the Republic, even though we were trying to save the wheels on the train at the end, it still crashed. What happened?
Yeah.
I want to see what they're going through. Even though it's called Andor, I want to see a lot of character development with Cassian, but I do want to see more of those prominent rebel figures popping in and see how they're doing, how the transition from Republic to Empire has affected them, and obviously they're rebelling, but it's like at what point. Also, I hope it respects Star Wars Rebels, because as we know in Rebels, the Rebel Alliance doesn't really form until that one episode, Secret Cargo, is it called? No, it is called Secret Cargo.
Season 3, episode
season 3,
16, 17 odd.
Yeah. So I want to see that. Ari, do you want to see connections to Rebels? Do you want to see connections to maybe more specifically Rogue One? What do you want from Cassian?
I mean, you already know I want connections to Rebels for sure, but Rogue One definitely too. I think overall, what I want from this series, I think, a series like Obi-Wan, that is something where you really want a character study. You really want to know about Obi-Wan. And in Andor, while I do want that as well, I want to delve into the character of Cassian. I think this is a great opportunity to almost just be a show about the Rebel Alliance at this stage. And I think it's going to be a really good show with a strong theme of morality. I think that is going to be like the overriding theme is what's right and what's not right. How far can you go to push your cause that doesn't contradict what you're fighting for, And we saw that in Rogue One, but I think we're going to have that elaborated on in this series, which I'm super excited to see. This one is going right under the radar. People speak of judging a book by its front cover. People are doing that with this series. Trust me, this is going to be something. This is going to be a fantastic series. It's and like you say, I think while it is called Andor, I do think it's a great opportunity to see what's going on with Mon Mothma, what's going on with some of those characters we saw in Rogue One, Um, man, I'm honestly so excited for this. Like, what have we got coming out this year? I would say I'm just as excited for this as Mando season 3, like just as
Oh,
for sure.
that's
Yeah,
that's cool. You know what? I'm with you. I'm with you.
yeah,
I would have to be honest and say Book of Boba Fett kind of taints my my hype level for Mando season 3.
yeah.
But
I'm
you
with you.
know, you know,
If Book of
but
Boba hadn't
but
come out, I would probably be saying Mando, but yeah,
Mando, but it's kind of changed the game for me. But dude, Andor has a lot of promising premises, and just judging by the concept art, like you see Cassian in some type of like A-wing craft, and then you see like Republic Venators being dismantled or whatnot, being like
yeah,
flipped on its side, them like demolishing them. And I'm actually reading Thrawn right now, the book. I'm rereading it, and they really, Timothy Zahn, the author, goes into depth about some of the aspects of Republic phasing of the I'm sorry, the Empire phasing out the Republic Venators, and
yeah,
more going into more of like the Imperial Star Destroyers, or the I forgot what the ship name is, because everyone's gonna be
yeah,
like, "They're still Star Wars destroyers," whatever. But yeah, it's I love reading about that stuff. Just I don't need an episode of them like exploring like what's changed, the changing landscape of everything. That could be more in the background, right? Like in
yeah,
in in the beginning of the season, we see them still writing, using like the Imperials using like those Republic Venators that we've come to know. And then by the end, they've transitioned to Imperial Star Destroyers, kind of like what I want from Bad Batch, but I don't think we'll get there yet. But that would be so cool if this series did that. So I'm excited for, as you were saying, for the morality thing. But I'm also excited for like them just to play around with the era,
yeah,
because it is a changing era. So,
yeah.
how many years did they say this was before Rogue One? Have they said?
Oh, I don't think they've put an exact number on it, but I think it's safe to assume it'll be about. I'm going to make an estimate of about 5 years, five,
Yeah,
10 to
that's what I
5,
was thinking.
5 to 10.
I
Yeah.
was thinking, yeah,
Um,
5-7. Yeah,
Something I want to say as well. I think because I reckon they have footage ready to show. A trailer could come out any day. It won't, but Star Wars Celebration, people who are going, man, that they're gonna have an Andor panel. It's almost a certainty. I'm telling
yeah,
you, I'm gonna be in that room ready. I'm sure they'll drop a trailer if they haven't already. It's gonna be fantastic, Mike. Hopefully you're there as well. Like that is a
yeah,
panel that I'm so looking forward to because it's the only thing that will be like ready to go. Like Obi-Wan will the first episode will be out when Celebration comes around. Bad Batch, we don't really know. I can see them dropping a Mandalorian season 3 trailer potentially.
yeah.
Maybe like just a really short teaser, but Andor will get like a
Like a
fully
sizzle reel.
fleshed trailer, I think.
Yeah,
And like man, I'm so excited for that. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely
That's exciting.
cool. All right, on to the next question, which is from my lost studs. I think that's how you say that. Lego Star Wars coming soon.
Hey,
Anyway, and they ask, which character do you think Christopher Lloyd will play in Mando season 3? And this comes from a report, I believe, from the Hollywood Reporter, stating that Christopher Lloyd will be in the series. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this actor. Mike, I think, will know a lot more than me. So, what do you think?
so I've seen a lot of debate going about this. First of all, great that Christopher Lloyd is coming into Star Wars. I think it's long overdue. Back to the Future was one of my favorite Star Wars was one of my favorite movies growing up. Sorry about that. There's just
Shocking.
okay. It was shocking, right? It's because Back to the
Yes,
Future. I
was
think
from
I
the
did.
Hollywood Reporter, just by the way. To
By the
confirm.
way,
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd in Back to the Future just takes me back to my childhood. Love Back to the Future. I literally watched like Back to the Future on VHS from like Blockbuster, and then came like along, Revenge of the Sith, and then so I started like Back to the Future and my Star Wars were like back to back. But I like I said, there's been some debate about people, who is he gonna play? I personally, and I'm stealing this joke from Twitter, I think he's gonna play the boss of the client from season one. I think he's gonna play his boss. So excited for that. No, I'm just kidding. There's been I will say, speaking of that old OG Thrawn trilogy, there's been speculation that he might play the Jedi from there, which I think is unlikely, because I think their Jedi focus is Grogu and Luke. Unless I would hate for them to repeat that story again. Like, we gotta get you back with a Jedi, or we found a Wanderer now. He's gonna help you. Like, I feel like that
Yeah.
story is worn out for me. So
Yeah.
I definitely think he might just play like like an Imperial. He could be like the new Moff Gideon in a sense, or might even be
Yeah.
Moff Gideon's boss. We might get some
So just
exploration
you
there.
think he'll have like a prominent role? This isn't going to be like a Danny Trejo type situation.
No, not at all. You do
Yeah.
not
Okay.
cast Christopher Lloyd to have him cameo or
Yeah.
what. I mean, it's still that
I'm
would
just
be
asking because
cool.
I honestly I don't know anything about this actor.
No, that would be cool to have him as a recurring role. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't see him coming back as a, or I mean, coming into the Star Wars universe just as a cameo. But
Yeah.
who knows? That could be the case because, as you said, they did. That's how they did Danny Trejo. But I would love to see him play a prominent role in the series. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
don't have any say?
I have zero input. I'm afraid.
Fair enough. And
Yeah.
with that, we go back to the mailbox. All right. Elliot asks thoughts on the overuse of certain characters, like Ahsoka, Maul, etc.
Hmm.
So Ari, what you look? I would answer this first, but on top of my frame, for all the audio listeners, Darth Maul is watching me, so I can't really speak on this right now.
Yeah.
Ari, do you have any thoughts about this? Are you tired of seeing Ahsoka? Tired of seeing Maul? Are you tired of seeing R2D2? What's up?
Elliot. This is a great question. I would say that.
Yes.
And there is no right or wrong answer. It really depends on how you feel about certain characters. Like straight off the bat, I think of Ahsoka, and I think Ahsoka as of now is not overused in my opinion. I think she's been used well. I think maybe they were pushing it a little bit in Boba Fett, but outside of that,
Yes.
I think she's been used very well. Um, it's really a case by case type thing. I think someone like Luke Skywalker is right now not being that overused, but I think in a few years we're all going to be saying, stop making stories about Luke Skywalker because he just seems to be like this selling point for them that it's like everything ends up like the answer is Luke Skywalker, like in Mando season 3. Um, so I don't know. I like it's hard to say without thinking of like specific examples. Like someone like Maul, yeah, he probably is overused, but I think if the story is good, it doesn't really matter. Like, and so like Book of Boba Fett, I didn't think the story was that good. So I did think it was a bit forceful to have someone like Ahsoka and Luke in the show. Um, but then with Mole, I feel like for the most part, pretty much every story he's in is a good story. So
Yes.
yeah, but no, it's a great question, and it really makes you think because, like, yeah, a character like Boba Fett, this guy who everyone loves, and then they make a show about him, but then everyone's like, well, we're not getting enough Boba Fett because he's not even in the show. So I don't know. What do you have to say on this?
I would probably say Rebels was pushing it with the Maul thing at the beginning with Twilight of the Apprentice because it was like, how are they fitting this into here? It was just a knee jerk reaction. Like, how are they fitting this in here? We have Vader going on, we have the
Mm,
Inquisitor storyline wrapping up, and now you want to throw Maul in here. And then what they did with him in season 3 was just beyond, what all the
yeah,
fans could have come
exactly.
up with. Like that was great. So he served great purpose. So I always give them, I give them a chance before I speak, but
Yeah,
as you were saying, and we've talked about this before, like Ahsoka had no purpose in that episode rather than just like fan service. Like there was just that was the one moment where I was like, okay, Dave Filoni, like
yeah.
you have always been that person to say like, I don't really pay attention to the fans. I'll do like him. He goes,
Yeah.
eh.
Well, I
Yeah,
always loved how when people be like, "Can this character appear? Can this character appear?" And he's like,
right,
"I'm just telling a story. If that character appears, they
right,
appear." And like, I
right.
agree so much with that. So yeah, it was a bit
Yeah, it
disappointing
was
to see him just throw
as
Ahsoka in like that.
as you would say, it was a bit shocking. But it was
Yeah,
yeah, it was shocking from him. But I will say, the mall stuff never bothered me. I know another one people complain about is Saw Gerrera, and I'm like, genuinely every story that he's been in, it's made sense, and he is the rebel terrorist that Star Wars has made him out to be. So
yeah,
it's like, well, you have that character, use him. Don't I hate it when fans go, why did you create a new character when you could have used this character? Well, and then
mm,
at the same time,
mm,
when you see too much of a character like Saw Gerrera, it's like, just
yeah,
make a new character. Why do we have to keep seeing him? It's like, no,
yeah,
like it makes perfect sense in the timeline and such. So I'm all
yeah.
for. I don't feel like Star Wars has that problem yet, but they might soon with Ahsoka, but we'll see.
We will see. We will see.
We will see.
Yeah. So, going back to the mailbox, Old Towner One says, "Good morning. Good morning." Right back at you.
Good,
Even
good
though
morning.
what's the time for you, Mike? Right now, it's not. It's definitely not
It's
the morning.
Yeah, it's night.
It's the morning enough for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they ask any new information on the retractable lightsaber. So this was something that Disney Parks, I think, revealed a while ago with a nice little video of someone like dressed as Ray using it. And no, not that I'm aware of that there's any new information. Like, do you know anything, Mike?
Nope. But it was a
Yeah,
really cool video, and I'm if you hear something, let me know because I'm buying
yeah,
that thing. That looks so cool.
yeah, yeah. Nah, it looks epic, that's for sure. But nothing to say
Yeah.
about it. But thanks for the question though.
Yeah, thank you, and hope you're having a good day. Or actually, if you're listening to this upon release, it probably is morning for you. So
Yeah.
good
I
morning.
wonder when people do listen to the podcast. Are we
Yeah,
like a
when do you?
morning listen or a nighttime listen?
Yeah, let us know. I know one of my friends sent me our podcast, and it was like they were listening as they were going to bed, and I was like, okay,
Oh
we'll
God,
knock you right
that sounds
out. Cool.
terrifying listening to us
I
as you
know,
go to
right?
sleep. God,
Oh gosh.
prefer watch a horror movie. No, I'm
See
joking.
see you in your dreams. And with
Yeah.
that comes another question from Connor, or a question from Connor, and he asks, you have to make a solo film for a character with less than 2.5 minutes of screen time. Who do you pick? Ari, you're given this incredible task of getting maybe like a background character and such. Who you picking?
Yeah.
Who's your
So
pick?
are we saying with that is in the movies, but has less than 2.5 screen time?
Right,
That's what
right.
we're saying, right? In the live
Yeah.
action movies. What do you think I'm gonna say?
I'll let everyone else hear this.
I
Straight
thought
from
you'd
the
be able to
lion's
guess
mouth.
it easily because it seems to be my answer to everything. But Quinlan Voss, he's in the Phantom Menace. He's mentioned in Revenge of the Sith, and we've talked about it at ad nauseum on the podcast. He deserves a story, and yeah, would definitely love a solo movie made of him. Man, get it
Well,
done.
yeah, I would probably say Salacious Crumb, just because I love his laughter so much.
Be
So
for real.
I would say Salacious Crumb. Dude, imagine seeing more Salacious Crumb and just that laugh and that hair. Come on.
This is a
When we
terrible joke.
speaking of that, speaking of sitting in live action TV panels at Celebration, I got to sit down for the Mando one, and they showed us some secret exclusive footage that no one else got to see on the live stream. Like they blackened the live stream. Were you watching the live stream at the time
I
for
was
Mando?
on a flight actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
during that. Oh,
I was
wow.
coming
Okay.
home from New York.
Oh, okay. Well, they
Yeah,
blackened out the footage or the
I
live
watched the
stream.
replay
Like,
though.
yeah. And they showed us like a sizzle reel, and you saw Salacious Crumb in there as his species, and it's like this show is gonna be awesome. So my answer,
Yeah,
Salacious Crumb.
you're being for real.
Dude, why would I joke about Salacious Crumb? He's like literally for I had a Star Wars counter once, and in the October section, which is my birthday month, was Salacious Crumb. So he is just like the how do people say what do people say the my spiritual animal? He's my spiritual animal.
Right. All right. So if anyone co-hosts podcasts, I'm looking for a new one. So, no. All right. Fair enough. Fair
Sayonara.
enough. I respect your opinion.
Thank you.
But that brings us to our final question of the day. These questions have been great, by the way. Thank you to everyone
Yes.
who sent them in. And it's from Mark, and they ask a very broad question, a very big question. They say, "How do you feel about the future of Star Wars going forward?" What do you reckon, Mike?
Ooh, that's a great question. I feel very strong about the future of Star Wars. I think they have, with the incredible feature that is Disney Plus, I feel like the landscape for Star Wars is never ending, and you can totally do from, like a show like Star Wars Blips that Ari loves. You could do a show like Star Wars Blips to something as incredible as like The
Shout out to
Mandalorian has
Davis
been.
Lowe, another Star Wars blip
Shout
appreciator.
out, shout out, Davis. So you could do a whole bunch of things on Disney Plus. So I'm excited with that feature. If we didn't have Disney Plus, and it'd be like, well, we're gonna air another animated series on Disney XD. It's just like, oh, okay. And a lot of the things are chopped up, right, because of censoring and stuff. But Disney Plus, whole different landscape. I feel like you could do anything there right now. So I feel like on that front, it's great. TV shows, I feel like you can have someone else in there other than John Favreau come in and pitch a TV show. We got like Star Wars Acolyte coming up. Excited for
Yep.
that. But then we have the movie side, and it's just complete chaos. Like the schedule
It
is
is.
ever changing, directors
Yeah.
are in and out. So for the movies, and live action shows are like another type of level of excitement than the animated ones, but the movies are on top. Like that is just next level. Like that is the ultimate like celebration, right? The ultimate hype. And the
Yeah.
fact that we're not having any movies for the near future, I mean, Rogue Squadron, but who are you excited for Rogue Squadron?
Um, that's a
Oh
very
no.
long and boring story.
So that's a no, everyone. But yeah, I just who's excited for
No,
Rogue
I'm
One?
saying my answer to that, by the way.
Oh,
I'm timid. I don't know. I just
okay.
feel so about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay. I'm not rushing. I'm not even rushing out to the theater to see it. Like, even though I'm a big Star Wars fan, I'm just
Yeah, you
and
are.
so yeah, I have a Star Wars podcast. Of course, I'm a big Star Wars fan. But
Yeah.
oh, you mean rushing to the theater?
Yeah, you will be. Hey, come
Fair
December
enough.
2023, I know you'll be running right out of the house to
Yeah,
go
I'll
see
be
it.
running right out of the house. But
Yeah.
speaking of running, Ari, don't try to evade this answer. What do you got? Are you excited for the
Um,
future of Star Wars?
I will say Boba Fett sort of changed my outlook on what the future of Star Wars is going to be like, and probably not for the best. I am excited. Like, I mean, I would not be here if I was not excited for the future. Do not get me wrong. However, my excitement is probably for very different things than most people. For example, I'm looking at something like the High Republic and thinking, cannot wait for that story to continue. Um, that's not what I'm most excited for, but that's just like I feel like my future, the things I'm looking on to in the future that I want to see are a bit more niche than others. But like, yeah, I mean, the live action shows, like, I'm really excited for something like the Acolyte and Andor that can get out of this Mando verse, because I think it's a great what they're doing with it, but I think we need to get out of it for a bit because we've sort of felt like they've just hit like they've hit the wall with it a bit. I feel like they don't know exactly what they're doing going forward. Maybe they do. Maybe Mando season 3 will change the game, and I'll be sitting here saying how good it is.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, obviously movies, it's just an absolute mess. But I think hopefully a celebration, we get some clarity on what the future is going to be like with that sort of stuff. Rogue Squadron, as I said, that will be the next movie. It sounds like. I just I don't know enough about it, and it seems like it's been a bit of a mess behind the scenes. So all I would say is don't rush. Please don't rush that movie out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like the my most anticipated thing going forward is the search for Ezra and Thrawn. I want to see what happens with that, whether that's in the Ahsoka show or an animated series. Please be in an animated series, by the way. Um, yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'd say yeah, I'm excited, but my levels went down a little bit after Boba Fett. Not to end on a downer, but I just yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. My it's just very different for each aspect. Like I feel my
Yeah,
excitement for the books going forward very different to my excitement for the shows, to the movies, all that.
yeah,
I'm excited for Styles Gaming going forward because there's a lot of cool stuff coming there. Fallen Order
yeah,
2, all that. So
yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say. But that pretty much just wraps us up for this week. Thank you so much for all the questions. I don't think we got to all of them, but I'm sure we'll do another one of these soon in the future. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, seriously, thank you for all your questions. As Ari said earlier at the start of the episode, we did this via social media, so make sure you're following us, especially at our main page, the SW Exchange. And we put up a poll. You guys responded, so appreciate all the feedback that we've gotten. And
yeah,
yeah, you guys came on drives to ask questions, so we appreciate it. And you guys asked very cool questions, so thank you.
definitely.
Um, yeah, listen, we are doing more things involving Bad Batch and or Kenobi. So subscribe, stay tuned. We subscribe to our Apple Podcasts feed, our Spotify feed, and YouTube. YouTube, we're
Yeah,
actually Ari and I are planning a special video. It's going to be more of an editorial video.
yeah,
So it's going to be short and to the point. So
yeah.
if you like that type of content, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. We are we putting it up on a social on our podcast feeds? We don't know yet, do we? Or is
We'll
it just a
figure it out.
YouTube?
We'll figure
We'll
it
figure
out.
it out.
Probably we'll just be on YouTube. So get onto it. But
Get onto it.
little
Subscribe.
tease what it is. Lego Star is coming out very soon. Me and Mike are very keen to cover it. So if you're
Ooh,
excited for Lego Stars, make sure you subscribe.
Yes, yes, exactly. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and hit that like button and comment because we reply to all the comments. It's fun engaging with you guys, and to that point, we did a whole Q&A episode involving our listeners' questions, which is awesome and wholesome. So we love engaging with you guys. So like I said,
Definitely.
follow us at the SW Exchange on Instagram. We just hit 80 followers. We're almost to 100, which is crazy. We're going to be posting a lot of there very soon, even though we've kind of posted already weekly. So awesome. Keep up with the conversation there. And also, speaking of conversations, Ari, where can people hit you up with questions, comments, or for the inside scoop on all the latest Star Wars news?
Yeah, find me on Instagram at Star Wars _ exchange or on Twitter at the SW Exchange.
Awesome. And you guys can find me all underscore Star Wars on Instagram and Twitter. And right now on Instagram, I'm working on covering the Lego game, trying to cover every aspect, as I say every week. So I posted all the new tidbits of of what the characters, what the number is, and what you can expect from the system they have set up for the characters and how they're categorized. So check that out. And yeah, we'll see y'all soon. I'm excited to continue podcasting and working this out. So, like I said, subscribe, hit the what do you call it? The notification bell on YouTube. Do
Yeah.
that, and we'll see you all next time. May the force be with you. Adios.
See ya. But Mike, how are you going today?
I'm doing exciting. Oh shit! I missed it. I'm so sorry.
I'm doing Excite. Okay. Very interesting.
I'm
No,
sorry.
all right. We can start that again.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna put that in at the end.